Okay, now I want to look at the differentiation of trig functions. Now what we could do first of all is just have a look at an applet in GeoGebra, and we're just going to go to that now. So here I have the graph of f of x is equal to sin x. So just really going to look at this bit only. Sorry, this bit only. Oops, this bit only. Okay. So between 0 and 2 pi. Right. Here I have the gradient at a particular point. Okay, so the gradient here is going to be actually 1 because it's 1 divided by 1, and therefore you can see that that point there is plotted. Okay, if I move the slider and the points will be traced out, okay, we can see here the gradient is equal to 0. Okay, and there we can see the gradient is negative, so therefore we can see it's going down to be negative. Okay, you can explore this for yourself, okay, and then it's going to be negative but not so negative, and then we've got this point, it's going to be 0 again, and then it's going to be positive like that. Okay, what is this function here? Well, looking at it closely, we can see that that is actually if y is equal to cos x. Okay, so there it is, y is equal to cos x. Okay, so we can actually see just by looking at the graph that the derivative, and remember when we find the derivative, we find the gradient function is actually f dash of x is actually equal to cos x. Now, let's look at this now algebraically by differentiating by first principles. So, if y is equal to f of x, then dy by dx will be equal to, we know the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Our function is sin x, so this is going to become, dy by dx is going to be the limit as h goes to 0 of sin x plus h minus sin x over h. But sin a plus b minus sin a minus b, so we're going to do a little bit of trigonometry now, is equal to sin a plus b is sin a cos b cos a sin b minus sin a minus b, which is sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Removing that bracket, we're going to get minus sin a cos b plus cos a cos b, and we can see that this one here and this one here are going to cancel out, so we'll cancel them out and we're left with just two lots of this. Okay, right, now we're going to do a little trick. If we let a plus b be equal to x plus h, so x plus h up here, then a minus b is going to be equal to x. If we add these and solve them by simultaneous equations, we're going to have 2a is equal to 2x plus h, and now if we divide by 2, we're going to have that a is equal to x by h over 2. By looking at this one here, we can very easily see that b will be h over 2. So basically what we're going to do is that this, it represents this, but we know it can be written like this. Okay, and when we make a plus b equal to this, then we can find the value of a, and we can, if we make a minus b equal to that, we can find a value of b, which we have done. So we've got that 2 cos a sin b is equal to 2 cos x plus h over 2 sin h over 2. Right, going to the next page. So going back to this limit of sin x plus h minus sin x over h, and we know that this is represented by sin a plus b minus sin a minus b. Okay, so this represents this, and this represents this, and by the simultaneous equations this becomes, well, this becomes 2 cos a, but a is x plus h over 2, and b is h over 2. So all this can now be replaced with, by this, 2 cos x plus h over 2 sine of h over 2 divided by h. Right, the next thing we're going to do a little trick. We're going to just divide this bit by h, because it doesn't matter which bit we actually divide by h, and then also, instead of multiplying by 2, we're going to divide the whole thing by 2. So we end up with the limit as h goes to 0 of cos x plus h over 2 sine h over 2 divided by h over 2. Now this is the same as sine theta over theta when theta is going to small. Okay, and we've already discovered by our small angles that the limit as theta goes to 0 of sine theta over theta will be equal to 1. So this bit will be equal to 1, and when h goes very, very, very small, we can ignore this bit here, and we can just say that the derivative is cos x. So if we've got y is equal to cos sine x, dy by dx is going to be cos x. It makes life easy.